Hello. Welcome back to Fundu Tester. In last session, we discussed about a board APIs. Those were a get APIs. In this, we are going to discuss about a card API. We will see how we can create a card and then we will try to get the information of the card. And later we will update the cards and then we will delete the card. And these operations will be performed from APIs and we will check the data is getting reflected on a UI or not. So let's get started. First of all, I'm going on a Trello board. With the initial card tab, I'm going to create a one card, demo card. So this card is getting added. If I reflect that board, then we can see the demo card is added. So this card we are going to add from the APIs. I'm going to the API documentation of a Trello and here you can see multiple sections available like actions, application page, card, members. Then we have to go to the card section and here we can see couple of APIs like create a new card, get card, update card, delete card. So here we need to click on the create new card and first of all we have to understand the structure of this API. So how this is gonna look like. So it is saying a create new card. Query parameter may also be replaced with a JSON request body instead. For a post request we are mainly passing a body and token if we have. So in this post request, they have given the data as a query parameter. For a card request, we can pass a data as a query parameter. Apart from it is mentioned here, we can pass data with body as well. So we will see how we can pass data with the query parameters and body. And once we hit the request, we will get this kind of a response. This is the card ID we will get. And apart from there are a couple of more information. Card is a closed or start date, end date, checklist ID labels, member labels and all this information we can see along with each card. So one activity is simply adding a card and we will see this much data. So let me copy this curl. It is mentioned the URL and what are the data. So basically they have defined the structure with a curl. I'm going to the Postman and I'm trying to add this. So this card information is added here. And in last request we have passed the key and token information. Click on the bulk edit, copy this information and simply pass with this API. Now one more parameter is missing. So out of 3 parameter, here it is mentioned 3 parameter ID list, basically key and API token. So we have passed a key and API token. That data we have stored with a variable. So if you are not sure how this works, then you can refer previous sessions. And now we have to pass one more parameter which is a ID list. So if I go to the documentation again and if I expand all, so here we can see name means the name of the card, description of the card. So for each and every field they have mentioned the details. What are the details we need to pass? Name here, for example, here I am passing a name as a demo card. So demo card will be my name. That information I am passing what I wanted to pass. But here ID list, they have given the ID list. Card should be created and they have given the regex pattern. So I am not sure how I can ID list. So what we can do in real time also, whenever we are trying to work on APIs, we will stuck in such kind of scenarios. So we have to reach out to the appropriate developer and we have to ask, how can I get this information? Let's say I need to create an ID list. So then from where I can get this information of ID list, or how can I create from my own self? To generate ID list, do I need to make another API calls or not? So basically we need to understand how we can get this information. But as of now, I cannot reach out to the Trello APIs. They have just provided a documentation. So there is another way. We have to basically go to this Trello website and do the right click and there is one option of inspect. Here we have to go to network tab. So you can see here multiple tabs, console, debugger. We have to go to network tab and down that we have to select XHR. So here we can record all the API calls, whatever is being made from UI. So all this activity we can track here. So I'm going to add one more card and we'll see what is the value of a ID card. Otherwise, if I'll pass an invalid value, then card won't be created from the API. So I'm going to give a name, a demo and add card. So card is being added. We can see all the APIs. So this is the second one. I'm going to click and this is the card API. And if I go to the request, it is passing a ID list. So this information I need to copy basically and going to the Postman and we need to pass this information. So now we know what is a ID list. And I'm going to save this request, create cart, Postman tutorial English and save. So now we have built entire request. We are passing these parameters As a authorization, we are passing a key and token, and ID list value we have. But now we have to pass a couple of more information, which is a name. Because if you are not passing the name, then how we will get to know what name we have passed? So I am adding this one parameter, and we have to pass here as a name, and I am giving first card from API. The request is ready, and I'm going to send. The card should be added. We got a card ID, and the information is same. So here the information is ID, address, badges. So badges tag is also here. Badges, it have this 4 parameter card, board, and location. All this information it is provided here. All this information, location, name, address, MIME type. So this all information will be here somewhere, and ID checklist. So we have to, first of all, we have to make sure that, see here you can see the location name. If we have passed the location name, then this should come here. So here first of all we have to make sure that, for example, I am passing this. If I am passing any parameters from the request body, those should be reflected with a response body as well. But as of now, we are passing a one parameter, which is a name. Get card from API. Our card got created, and now I am going to the Trello board, and here we can see the first card from the API. We have given the same name, first card from the API. This card got created. Let me create another card, and we'll see how soon it is reflecting on a UI. So here, instead of a first, I am going to pass a second, and I am going to hit this request. And see, before the API response, the card got created on a UI. So this is how frequently API works. It just took a 6.609 milliseconds, which is a less than 1 second. Now here we can see one more thing. We can pass this data with a query parameter, as well as we can pass this data with a body as well. So we'll see how this is gonna look like. So I'm going to the bulk edit. I'm copying this data, and I'm removing from this, because this data we are going to pass from a body. I'm going to the body. We have to select a row, and the type will be JSON. Here there will be a multiple types. So here we have to select a JSON. In a flower brushes, we have to basically build a JSON request. So for building a JSON request, we discussed earlier, for all the string information we have to pass in a double colon, and if there is any other key and value pair, then we have to separate from the comma. So all information we are passing with a double colon. And let's say we are going to pass one more parameter, which is a description, DESC. We have to pass exactly the same parameter, DESC, and I'm giving a name, test description, and here I am updating a name, third card from API, and we can beautify this so it will properly get aligned. So I have beautified, and now if I'm going to generate this, send, the card got created, and here we can see the third card from API. We have given the name third card from API. So the similar way we can pass the data, and we have passed the description as well. So if I go here, we can see the description, it is picked test card. So like this, we can pass either data from either query parameter, we can pass all the data here, or we can pass data from a body. Now we are going to look at the another API, which is a get card. So for a get card, here the required field is a ID, and apart from, we can get specific field specific data as well, like field, section, whatever data we wanted to get. But here we are passing the ID, and apart from the ID, we have to pass again API key and API token. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste here. So it has built the request, and we have to pass this data. So again, I'm going to the params, bulk edit, copying this information and passing this information here. We are going to get the third card, and we have to pass the ID. So this ID we have to pass. This information we got from a create API response. We are passing this information with the ID, and then we have to save the request, get card, and saving with this particular collection, save, and we should get the similar information. See, here we are getting the similar information. Whatever information here we can see, all the fields should be matching. Here closed is a false. So here also closed is a false, and the name third card from the API. So similar information we are getting, URL. All this required field, we have to make sure that data is correct and it is matching with this particular response. Now we are going to update this card. So there is a one API to update the card, and we can update like a get API, we can update here multiple data. So I'm going to copy this API, and I'm going to paste here, And now we have to make sure what are the information here we are going to update. So from get card, I'm going to update this card. So copying this information and passing here. And apart from key value, also we have to pass as a dynamic data. We have passed, and body, we will keep the same body of a post request, and we will update the name. So here basically we are not passing ID list, but name and description we are going to pass. We have to select the row JSON format, and ID list I am not going to pass because it is not required. And now instead of a third card from API, I am just updating a name, third card updated, and test description updated. And if I'm going to hit this, before that I need to save this update card API, saving, and make a API call. So card should got updated. Description here we can see test description updated, and name third card updated. So if I go on a UI, and we'll see here it is see it is reflected a third card updated, and inside also test description updated. If I wanted to just update a description, I'm removing a name and description. I'm removing again test description. I'm removing again updated string. So here we can see the updated string that I'm removing. So again I'm sending. It should get reflected. See here, see it got reflected. So if we wanted to pass single parameter or multiple parameter like this, we can do. Now last API is a delete card. So again, like a get card, we are just updating the method name. So data will be the same. Here we have passed ID, token, and a key. The similar way for a get card also we are passing the same information, ID, API key, and token. And ID is a mandatory. If you are passing in invalid ID, then it will throw an error. So I'm going to paste this. Operation is delete. We have to pass the parameters as a key value, token, and API is ready to go. We have to just pass ID, card ID, because card ID is mandatory. API will fetch based on the card ID. If I'll pass an invalid card ID, then it should fail. So now I'm going to save this, delete card request, save and send. See, the card got deleted. The card name was third card updated. And if I go on a UI, see, we cannot see the card. That card got basically deleted. I hope this is clear for you. And as a homework, please try to execute this whole request for your own. And if you are facing any issues, please let me know in a comment section. I'll be happy to help. And don't forget to like and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe Fundu Testers. Thank you so much.